Good morning. Hello, beautiful people. Beautiful, good people. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. My name is Kina. All right, so let's get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Last night, they had their reunion. This was part one for season two. It's episode 22. And on this particular reunion, we have Andy where he goes around to each of the women's dressing room. He's, greeting them, telling them hello. And the main point here that I caught was when he went to Jen Shaw's dressing room, he did explain to her that the rumors out there on the street about Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where people were saying that she received her questions prior to the reunion airing. He made a point to let Jen know that that was an absolute rumor, that Erica did not receive her questions prior to the reunion, and she was not going to receive her questions prior to the reunion either. And he even asked her pretty much to give confirmation that she did not know anything that he was going to ask her once they sat down and they started the reunion. And we know Jen is being charged with scamming old people out their money. It's some type of telemarketing scheme that her businesses had going on, and she's allegedly stole millions of dollars from elderly people. It's such a sad situation. So when the reunion does start, we have the women to come out, and they all take their seat. And it's a beautiful setting. They have replicated one of these scenes that was throughout the season, during the season, and that was the scene when the ladies had went ice fishing. So they have like fake snow all around the set. It's really beautiful, and it looks really cold, but of course we know it's not real, but it's a beautiful scene. And they even have like in the center of the women, where they're sitting, it's like a little cutout in the floor with water and actual fish, and they have like the fishing poles. So I thought that was pretty cool for whoever did the set, whoever set the setup. They did a great job as far as replicating that scene that was during the season. So of course, Andy, once they start taping, he asked Jen Shaw how she's doing with everything that's going on. We know that she's getting ready to go to trial in the month of March, which is tomorrow. So March 1st is tomorrow. I don't know the exact date of her trial when it's going to start, but it's supposed to be the month of March. And many of the people that worked under Jen, they have already been sentenced. These people are already serving time. So it kind of seems like she's going to end up with some of that time too, because I'm quite sure those people, the ones who got some time, I kind of heard allegedly that they did flip a dime on her. So she's going to have to catch some of that too, from my understanding. I mean, I'm not trying to send nobody to jail or prison. The lady does have a family, but she had to think about the people that she stole from too. They had families too. Can't do crime and think you're gonna not do the time. So it is what it is. So he asked her why she continued to carry on with the show. And she mentioned that, this is a hard time for her family. Of course, this is something tough for them to deal with and for her to deal with. And that her lawyers, of course, they didn't want her to be on the show to continue it. However, that lady is so delusional. She was like, well, innocent until proven guilty, which is true, but Jen, you are a guilty girl. So, and I also see that she's smart too, because as long as she stays on the show, the income is going to continue to come. The show has to continue to pay her. And even though they are one of the lowest paid housewives, they're not getting paid compared to Atlanta housewives and Beverly Hills housewives. They haven't made it to that point. They're only on their second season. And we're talking about Utah here. You know what I'm saying? So, they're not getting paid as much as the compared to the other Real Housewives within the franchise, but they are getting paid. So some income is better than no income at all, especially when you have a ass of lawyers to pay, and it's not cheap. So her lawyer fees, or her legal fees are up there, and she needs that money. So it's kind of smart for her to continue to ride it out on the show as long as she can. And I don't know, I'm not a judge. I don't know all the details. And even if I did, it's not even good to speak on what may happen to someone, but I'm just going by what the odds are are. But I mean, the best for her. Maybe she has the best turnout. God is good. You never know how things will turn out for her. So we have that. And to me, Jen Shaw, she looks the best on the set. Um, all of the ladies' outfits are kind of hideous, but Jen is just pretty overall. So she just looks beautiful anyway. I didn't understand the feathers and the other stuff that she had going on with her outfit. It kind of looked like a chandelier with feathers on it. I don't know what the hell was going on. So, but the other ladies, they don't look horrible. It's not like they have a lot of makeup caked on or anything like that. It's just that they didn't pick really good outfits, to be on a reunion show. It's nothing like, oh, that's just so beautiful. That's so glamorous. Like Atlanta always brings it so far anyway. All the seasons that they have had, they really bring it with their wardrobe. All right, so of course we don't have Mary there, guys. So we know that Mary did not show up for the reunion, and overall, towards the end, we found out that Mary's not coming back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, period. So it's like she quit. That's it. And we really needed Mary to be there because majority of this season has been about Mary. So it would have been good if she was there to defend herself and also there to be with Meredith, because the season was where Meredith and Mary, they were really tight and all the other ladies were against them. So now Meredith is sitting there by herself, and she did speak about how she felt about that. So, and then we have with Andy, he asked Meredith about herself from season 1 compared to herself on season 2. And so she explains that this is, the season where she had lost her father and she was dealing with a lot of family issues. And prior to her losing her father, she did not have any physical contact with him. She had not seen him in person, only, through FaceTime. And that was because of the pandemic. And now that her father is gone, that's it. So that was something very emotional for her to deal with. And on top of that, she was not even able to bury her father, And then she spoke about other things that was going on within her family. She has a sister, and her sister has a special needs child. And, it's like things that she really couldn't go in depth with. But we all know about family, how you can have family problems. So it's just really been a tough time for her. So that pretty much explains a lot of her behavior and how she was just really dismissive to the other ladies because she had real stuff going on, like stuff that she couldn't talk about on the show. And a lot of the stuff that the ladies were on her case about didn't even make sense. So that was Meredith. And of course, we have Jenny Nguyen there. She's still on the show during this reunion because this was prior to all of the information coming out about her being racist herself and all of the things she had posted about Black Lives Matter. And she had made a lot of disgusting racist comments around, the times that we were losing a lot of our men, like with the actions with the police killings and stuff like that. So she's a disgusting person, but she's on this reunion because this is prior to all of that information coming out. But in present day, she's been fired from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So we won't be seeing her on Bravo, period. So that was a good thing. It's just hard to see her on this reunion, but I understand this reunion was taped prior to they firing her behind. And I like that Meredith, well, first Jenny, when she wanted to, of course they're going to speak on Mary. So that's why it's kind of sad that Mary's not there to defend herself. So the questions come up about Mary being racist and the things that she has said throughout the season. And Mary did say a lot of things that were not appropriate. And one of the things that she made a comment about Jenny Nguyen's slanted eyes. Jenny Nguyen is an Asian woman, so of course her eyes are kind of slanted. They have a different shape. Well, we all have different eye shapes. And I will say that's one thing that I did not think Mary was making a racist comment about. Mary was looking at a picture of Jenny Nguyen. She was dressed up in a costume. It's supposed to be something to try to entice and romanticize her husband. So she had on a blonde wig, and it's like she squinted, made her eyes look even more slanted in the picture. And that's what Mary was looking at. And Mary's like, oh, look at you. You look beautiful. And even look at you. I like your slanted eyes, you know? And so I didn't understand why Jenny Nguyen was offended by that. That's your God given feature. And then I know I have people in my family, females. I'm not a big makeup person, but I've seen people, they take the eyeliner, even people outside my family, they take the eyeliner and they will make their freaking eyes slanted. Like it's a feature, it's a style. So I felt that Mary was complimenting her at the time. So of course they go over there, and Andy, he also thought it was something racist. Okay, well, if that's what y'all want to say. But then Jenny Nguyen wants to question Meredith about why she could never speak up and say anything about the things that Mary was doing. And so Meredith was like, yeah, she did tell her, like, when Mary was trying to speak in the same accent as Jenny Nguyen, which it wasn't cool. And so Meredith did try to tell her and give her a cue. No, let's not try to talk like her or whatever, you know. But Jenny Nguyen was like, well, with the slanted eyes, you didn't, you know. And then Meredith pretty much told Jenny Nguyen she didn't know how to take Jenny Nguyen, that Jenny Nguyen had been after her all season. She had made comments about Meredith, and she didn't even know Meredith. This is someone she's just getting to know, so how she can make any comments about her, period, you know. And not only that, Meredith says she was thrown for a loop when Jenny Nguyen gave Mary back some shoes that Mary had given her as a gift. She gave her some beautiful red bottom shoes. They were brand new. But Jenny Nguyen gave the shoes back to Mary, stating that it was an insult to her and her culture because they don't accept gifts that had been used. However, the shoes had not been used, and the receipt was even in the box. And then she want to clean it up and say, well, I know the shoes were not meant for me, which they were not meant for her originally. They were meant for Jen Shaw. However, Jen Shaw had got her ass locked up, so Mary gave the shoes to Jenny Nguyen for doing her makeup. You know, so it was a bunch of bullcrap. So Meredith, she brings up the point that she didn't understand why Jenny Nguyen would give Mary back the shoes, stating that she don't take used gifts and it was an insult to her culture, when Jenny Nguyen's husband gave Meredith's husband's self a gift with used golf balls. And Jenny Nguyen was like, what? We didn't give used golf balls. Meredith said those golf balls were used. They were old. They were used. So that was kind of funny. So I'm like, oh, what? They opened up the box and the golf balls was already beat up. They still had grass on it. Damn, what was going on? So Meredith, it was funny. And I'm glad that Meredith put her on the spot about that, because when she gave Mary back those shoes, that did not make sense. And those shoes were so beautiful. Like, girl, who's going to give back some Louis Vuitton? And you could clearly see they had never been worn. There was no scratch on the red bottom, period, baby. You putting them shoes on, girl. That lady, she's been after Mary from day one, and I could tell from day one, even before all the stuff came out about her being racist and we got to see the post that she made. She was after Mary because Mary was a black woman, and you could tell she was racist. And Andy, he also brought up the point where Jenny Nguyen took a glass and threw it at Mary, and he asked her, well, how can you speak about Mary being violent and being all these things when you actually picked up a glass and you threw it at Mary? And then she was like, oh, I didn't throw it at Mary. I threw it on the floor. I wish somebody would throw her ass off the couch for saying that. I'm so sick of this woman. It was ridiculous. So Other than that, we have all the ladies who, except for Jenny Nguyen, but we have all the ladies that's going up against Lisa. They're saying that Lisa is a she likes to stir up mess and all that stuff, and how Lisa's not a good friend, and that she's been doing a lot of conniving things throughout the season. So I guess we'll talk about that for the next 2 episodes. And they're going to continue to talk about Mary too, because they showed a clip where they're talking about Cameron, the guy that came on the show, and he stated that Mary had him to refinance his home, remortgage his home, and he gave her $300,000. That's a lot of damn money. But that was going around, and they're going to speak on that in the upcoming reunion. So that's something to stay tuned for, because they also showed a clip where Lisa is making a statement about Cameron refinancing the home and giving the money to Mary. But then we have Meredith on the other end of the couch, and Meredith was like, well, Lisa, you told me off camera that Cameron did not give her the money. So it's like, okay, somebody's lying. So, and then Whitney, she claims to have information from Cameron. He passed away. He had tumors. So this guy, he's already passed away, unfortunately. So he's not able to come there or any of that. So, but Whitney, she also talked to him before he passed, and she's alleging that he admitted to her that him and Mary had an affair going on. So it's like, okay, you was going with the first lady of the church. It's a hot mess. So we have 2 more reunions to get through, guys. I hope it's only 2. It should have just been 1 and done. You know, I'm kind of over it. They already started filming for season 3, and from my understanding, we're going to get the same ladies. They had started with Jenny Nguyen, but they fired her, so hopefully they cut out her scenes completely, and after this reunion we won't see her anymore. But and after season 3, they need to recast. We need a whole new cast of ladies, especially with Mary gone. Mary made the show. She really made the show entertaining. She was wrong with a lot of the stuff that she did, but she really made it very entertaining. So I was on my treadmill exercising. That's the only way I made myself watch this reunion. Was I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be active while I watch it. So I couldn't really see the small print on my tablet, but it looked like there was something on there about Mary doing an exclusive interview with Bravo. I think the Bravo TV that you can find on YouTube. I have to go back and research, but I really thought I saw that. But you know, girl was trying to get her moves on, so I don't know if I saw the right thing. But it said something about Mary Cosby at BravoTV.com. I hope so anyway. All right, guys. So that was my recap for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2 Reunion Part 1. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Please click like, subscribe if you have not. And don't be shy. Leave me a comment. Say something. All right. So you guys continue to have a beautiful, blessed day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.